KZN Emergency Services remain on high alert. They worked through the night dealing with heavy rain and localized flooding. So let's get the very latest now from KZN EMS spokesperson Robert McKenzie, who joins me this morning just to give us, of course, a background as well as an update on how those rescue and operations are going at this point. Robert, a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. Take us through what work lies or even lied ahead for you upon this damage that we have seen. People obviously being, not only inconvenienced, I can imagine some being displaced due to this weather condition.
Yes, good morning. It is a problem. We have seen extensive damage, especially in the Nanda area, where the tornado hit yesterday, and last night we did see areas being affected by localized flooding. You can see the visuals there. It is affecting traffic in certain areas. However, the flooding is not to the extent that we saw last year, April, even though there has been localized flooding that has affected some of the roads. It's not nearly the extent that we saw last year. We do know of an incident that occurred in Cato Crest, which is in the Mayville area of eThekwini last night, where several informal dwellings got swept away in the downpour. As a result, sadly, there is one fatality as a result of that, and 6 patients were injured and have been treated at that incident.
Any fatalities reported, Robert?
No, like I was mentioning, the one fatality as a result of the flooding, which this fatality was a result of dwellings that were washed away in the Mayville area.
All right. Well, also, I mean, in terms of the current rescue efforts, where do you stand right now in terms of assisting people?
Well, at this stage, now that it's daylight again after the flooding, it's a matter of getting into the affected areas, especially the disaster management teams, to be able to assess what is the extent of the damage, or what has been affected. Is it roads that have been affected? Is it housing? Electricity that's affected, to be able to start restoring services like electricity and start being able to help people that are affected, whether it be with housing, temporary housing, or food or clothing, because different people will have different needs at this stage. So at this stage, it's about getting help to those people at this stage. As far as I know, at this stage, there's no ongoing rescue efforts, and it's a matter of assisting the affected communities.
All right. Well, as you continue with those assessments and assisting where you can, what is your caution to residents at this stage? Because, I mean, we've seen even the visuals right now on screen that at times you find that cars still try and drive through where there's, lots and, many amounts of water seeping through, making it difficult for motorists even to drive through. But in terms of the general caution that you would like to pass on to residents right now, what is that message?
I think you've touched on the one aspect of driving through flooded areas. It's very dangerous to drive through large pools of water because there could be obstructions underneath the water that you can't see. Maybe manhole covers have been washed away and you'll drive into those holes and get stuck. Also, if there is water rushing across a road or a low-lying bridge, do not try to cross it because that's very dangerous and your vehicle offers you no safety in flooded water. Also, another aspect is if there have been power lines that have been blown over or washed over and those lines are lying on the ground or low hanging, to treat those power lines as live and be extremely cautious, stay away from them and report them to authorities so they can be made safe.
All right, Robert. Is there a helpline that also residents can utilize and use should they seek relief?
I think in terms of seeking relief, people for now would get in contact with their relevant ward councillors to be able to arrange help in the specific areas. However, if there is an emergency requiring an emergency response, people can dial the emergency number 112, which is a generic emergency number which will get you access to the police, the fire department, and the ambulance service.
All right, that number being 112, and I'm sure it'll be more of a localized, a service that you would receive in your area, closest to you, to assist you with any of the emergency needs. So thank you so much, Robert, for speaking to me right on News.